what it is. I bet that most of you guys that clicked on this video are a lot like me. Back in September 2020, you might have downloaded Genshin Impact for the first time. I mean, we were in a pandemic. You can't leave the freaking house. And you might or might not have been already severely addicted to gacha games. But you were telling me that we're getting a free-to-play gacha game. Open world with a native PC port. Beautiful graphics, cool exploration mechanics, the interesting elemental system for like diverse team building. Based on Breath of the Wild? Dude, count me in. Really, I loved Genshin Impact back when it first came out. And besides any criticisms that I might have about the game today, I think it was an insane breakthrough for the gacha game genre in general. But that's a topic for another video. Well, the point is that in 2022, like right at the beginning of the Sumeru saga, I had to quit. I was just at a time in my life where playing Genshin every day the way that I was doing was just not feasible. And really, there were some other reasons, but the main one was that. My personal life circumstances really made me have to give it the axe. But I didn't just leave, and I really don't like, you know, just never say never. So I told my friends and everybody I knew in the community, really. But more importantly, I told myself, quote, all right, if they ever put Himiko in Genshin, I'll come back. Trust me, doing these kinds of things is really good for my psyche. It's the way my mind works, and it served as a really good deterrent at the time to, you know, help me focus on getting my life together. But it's also now something that I need to live by, or else I'm just a little bitch. Yeah, that's it, really. So now here we are 2 years later, and the announcement for Natlan that just came out. Believe you me, I wish Mavuika didn't look like as good as she does, man. But she looks so good, it's frankly kind of ruining my life. But Ktsu, weren't you talking about Himiko before? What does this lady have to do with her? So for more context, in case you guys don't know, Hoyoverse games kind of exist in the same multiverse. I don't know about Tears of Themis, but like it's certainly true for the other ones. Just trust me, this is like an in-lore thing, like for real. And the reason why I feel they changed their brand from Mihoyo to Hoyoverse in the first place. Biggest example I can give you is my favorite character, Raiden Mei. She was introduced in Honkai Impact 3rd and recently released as Archeron on Honkai Star Rail. And Raiden A in Genshin Impact. Case in point. I have absolutely no idea why they chose to name her A instead of May. Like, why? Why take the M out? So this makes sense, right? Like, I was ecstatic when I got A in Genshin, which technically we did get her doll, but like, good enough. And there's all these other theories, like, you know, the god lady that appears right in the first scene. She looks a lot like Kiana. Whenever she's aspected to the Harisher of the Void, Harisher, I hope I'm saying that right. And since we got all of that in Genshin, mine and a lot of the community's expectations jumped to Himiko. And the fact that they said that the Pyro Archon was a lady, you know, she's fire, that's probably Murata Himiko in this world. And it's something to be excited about because Himiko is like such a big character in Impact 3rd. Believe you me, her comeback in Star Rail was very heartwarming, especially for like older fans of Impact 3rd. And it feels like this is it. Mavuika, am I saying that right? I mean, she fits the bill, right? But there's this huge thing eating me inside after I watched the video. And if you watch the videos and you're playing Genshin Impact localized in English, you might not even notice or not even care about what I'm about to talk about, but it's a huge deal for me, I promise. There was something off about her voice. Not the voice acting at all. Like, Komatsu Mikako did a great job. What was weird is exactly that. It was Komatsu Mikako and not who probably a lot of us were expecting. Keeping it 100% straight with you guys, honest, one of the biggest reasons that I liked Himiko in the first place, it wasn't just like her character in the story, or spoilers, her tragic ending, or even the fact that we did get to explore a lot more of her in Star Rail, or the obvious One-san attractive lady aspect. It's that she's voiced by Tanaka Rie. Top 3 seiyus of all time to me, dude. Seriously, she nails so well every single role that she has put on. To the point there's a lot of gacha games where I roll on the characters that she voices just because she voices them, like 100%. I really have no reason to roll for Kiara in FGO like any other. Always worth it, no questions asked. But if this is supposed to be Himiko, then why? Tanaka Rie has been working with them in this role like ever since ever. She even made a stellar comeback in Star Rail. Again, why? Like, sure, she already has a character in Genshin Impact. If you guys don't know, she voices Lisa. But that has never stopped any other gacha game from like having the same voice actor or actress, you know, voice 2 characters or even more. Like, was there a falling out? Probably not. Maybe Tanaka One-san asked for a raise. You know, this is a big time for Himiko and Genshin. They might have turned it down, dude. I don't know. This left me very, very curious. But at the same time, it just could be a lot simpler. Like, sure, you look the part, but are you really Himiko? I mean, what do I know, right? Like, I haven't played the game ever since 3.0. Maybe there's something I'm missing here. Or honestly, maybe Hoyoverse just haven't really said anything in lore. So, you know, I had to check. I had to find out what's going on here. And if you're a Himiko simp like me, then you probably want to know too. I did whatever I could. First thing I found was in the wiki that there's like probably 2 versions of the Archon. Like, that happens quite a lot in Genshin, so it kind of makes sense. That Murata is actually the previous one from like 1,000 years ago, which also makes sense. That's a Genshin thing to do. Then it's another vessel, or even this guy is saying that Murata is actually a mistranslation, so that kind of discredits absolutely everything, which landed me back on square one. And honestly, that's on me. Like, maybe I shouldn't have gone to the wiki for actual information. Then I tried game journalism, and honestly, I don't know if I did any better. First one I found was in Game Rant, and they actually kind of confirmed this thing about, you know, the webcomic, saying that the Pyro Archon was Murata, the Lady of Fire. But now there's not enough confirmation to determine whether Murata still holds this title. Kind of confirms the 1,000, you know, year thing, but But then they like affirm that the honor belongs to Mavuika, saying it's like a different person. And that's kind of it. So yeah, not much there. Another interesting phrase I found in Eurogamer, actually, it kind of tells us that we don't know shit. Saying that Mavuika's Archon status hasn't even been confirmed yet, but if she's not the Pyro Nation's god, it looks like Mavuika will at least play a very important role in Natlan's story. Obviously. So in the end, it's inconclusive, and it's obviously Hoyoverse just going like, well, if you guys really want to know, you just gotta have to play the game. Hook, line, and sinker, indeed. Now, I've talked to people, heard a lot of thoughts on whether this actually is Himiko or a vessel or like a second person or, you know, whatever she can be. Or, you know, some kind of like One Piece-esque inherited will Mavuika Himiko person. Truth of the matter is, guys, even if Mavuika isn't one for one the Himiko of the Genshin universe, she is probably the closest we're gonna get to her. So, you know, maybe just not worry too much about it. I'm kind of worried just because it's about me getting back into Genshin or not, but hey. And this was definitely enough to get me interested in the game again. After all, the main reason why I play gacha games in the first place are the characters themselves and whether I like them or not. I was kind of worried it might be kind of bad getting to Genshin Traversal in combat after playing Weathering Waves, but hey, we'll see. The important thing is I really want to know from you guys, especially if you're an active Genshin player. What do you think? Is she Himiko for you? Do you think that the webcomic information that I saw on the wiki is actually accurate? Or is it a mistranslation? Like, really? And most importantly, do you think that this is the Himiko that me and probably a lot of you guys were waiting for? You guys made it to the end. Thank you very much for sticking around. If you like this sort of gacha content, please consider giving me a like and a subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm a small channel right now, just trying to give you guys good content and keeping it going. But really, tell me what you think, because Pokemon Master Himiko is looking kind of nice and a really good excuse for me to download this game again.